Hi, in this video, we will see Adafruit Circuit Playground Express development board. Yes, we know, since its launch in mid-2017, this board has been in market for quite a long time, but this compact and feature-rich dev board still mesmerizing the makers community. In this video, we will take brief overview of the features of this board, and we will also see how to program this development kit using different methods and platforms. So, let's get started. Hello all, welcome to MakeCode Explore channel. First of all, thank you to all our subscribers, viewers and supporters. This is an Adafruit Circuit Playground Express development board. On the left-hand side, you can see, we have opened Adafruit website, which is showing overview page of Circuit Playground Express. Let's see that in detail. So, we can program this development board using different methods, like with Microsoft MakeCode block-based programming using web editor, or you can follow along with code.org CS discoveries, or with CircuitPython with the Python interpreter running right on the Express. Also, as you progress, you can advance to using Arduino IDE, which has full support of all the hardware down to the low level, so you can make powerful projects. Because you can program the same board in 3 different ways, the Express has great value and reusability. From beginners to experts, Circuit Playground Express has something for everyone. We will see them in detail in later part of this tutorial, but first, let's see what great goodies baked into each Circuit Playground Express. As you can see they have given, this is peripheral and feature-rich development board comes with 10 neopixels LEDs, motion sensor, temperature sensor, light sensor, sound sensor, mini speaker with Class D amplifier, push buttons and slider switch, infrared receiver and transmitter, alligator clip-friendly I/O pins, 2 MB of SPI flash storage, I2C, UART PWM and so on. Now, let's see where all these got assembled on this tiny but powerful board. The Circuit Playground Express, we will call it as CPX in short. Let's see the guided tour of this development board. First is power and data section. Here is micro USB connector, which can be used to power the device, and as an USB communication, bootloader, serial, HID, etc., to sync with computer. Then here is the JST battery input. You can take your CPX anywhere and power it from an external battery. This pin can take up 6 volts DC input. Then this board has an alligator clip-friendly 14 connection pads. We can even use small metal screws. Now, let's see the microchips, means the brain of this dev board. Here is the Atmel Cortex M0 microcontroller. Then, this small chip beside microcontroller is storage chip, called SPI Flash, which is of 2 MBs, but enough for storing Arduino or CircuitPython files. This is a CircuitPy drive. I will let you know about this later. Then let's see different LEDs. Here on the top, there are 2 LEDs, green-colored power on LED and red-colored LED, which is connected to pin 13, similar like in Arduino boards. Then, there are 10 NeoPixel LEDs, surrounding the outer edge of the board. These are all full-color RGB LEDs. Each one can be set to any color in the rainbow. Great for beautiful lighting effects. Next is speaker. Here is the small speaker on the board. And there is a small Class D amplifier connected to that speaker. Alright. Now let's see some more interesting stuff. The sensors. The CPX has a large number of sensor inputs that let you add all sorts of interactivity to your project. So, here is an analog light sensor. This can be used to detect ambient light, with similar spectral response to the human eye. Then next is temperature sensor. There is an NTC thermistor that we use for temperature sensing. Then next, this dev board also features MEMS PDM microphone audio sensor, which can be used to detect audio levels, and even perform basic FFT functions. Next feature is the motion sensor. Here is the 3-axis accelerometer. We can sense motion with an accelerometer. Another feature is CPX have capacitive touch sensing capability. The chip in the CPX has a built-in ability to perform capacitive touch readings. On the Express you get 7 capacitive touch pads. Okay, now let's look at the switches and buttons. There are 2 large A and B buttons on the board. Then, this small button in the center of the board is for resetting the board. You can use this button to restart or reset the CPX. And if using Arduino or CircuitPython, press this button once to reset, and double-click to enter into the bootloader mode manually. Going forward, there is a single slide switch near the center bottom of the Circuit Playground Express. This is not an on-off switch, but you can use code to have this switch control how you want your project to behave. Another but very interesting feature of this dev board is an IR, infrared receive transmit and proximity sensor. There are 2 elements for infrared. The transmitter is on the left and is a small clear LED. On the right is the darker receiver LED, which also has a decoder chip. So, this means you can communicate with TVs and other household devices to control them. You can also send commands to the CPX with a remote control. And finally, you can send simple messages between multiple circuit playgrounds. Now, let's see the pinout diagram and important pins of Circuit Playground Express. Here is the diagram, if you want deep dive, but for the time being, let's see important pins and pads. Most important, the power pads. There are 6 power pads available, equally spaced around the perimeter. Then grounds, there are 3 ground pads, they are all connected together. Then, there are 2 3.3 volt output pads, they are connected to the output of the onboard regulator. The regulator can provide about 500 mA maximum. Next is Vout, this is voltage output pad, this is a special power pad. It will be connected to either the USB power or the battery input, whichever has the higher voltage. This output does not connect to the regulator, so you can draw as much current as your USB port or battery can provide. Hence, in a nutshell, if you want to connect chips, sensors, and low-power electronics that requires 3.3 volt clean power, use the 3.3 volt pads. If you want to connect servos, neopixels, dot stars or other high-power electronics that are okay up to 5 volt, use the Vout pad. Then next important IOs are, there are 8 GPIO pads, which includes analog input-outputs, I2C and UART signals. So, this is all about important hardware features of CPX dev board. There is a lot to explore. You can go through this website for more information. Now let's see how we can program this development board using 3 different methods: MakeCode, CircuitPython, and Arduino IDE, or direct ARM GCC programming. If this is your very first time programming or coding, we suggest starting with MakeCode. It is super fast to get started. So, what is MakeCode? Microsoft MakeCode for Adafruit is a web-based code editor for physical computing. It provides a block editor, similar to scratchercode.org. As you can see here in this video, you will just use drag and drop blocks to program the board. Let's try it now. Go to this link, makecode.adafruit.com. Here you can create a new project or load the tutorials given. We will use this siren tutorial to make some noise and LED show. Just click here to start the tutorial. It will take some time to load. So, here is the interface. This is Canvas. And these all are the blocks, which consist of different types of blocks, like loops, conditions, operations, actions, sensing, display, etc. You can drag and drop them onto Canvas to create program. Below here, you will see the real-time simulation of your block program. Once you completed your block code program, you can click on this download button to download the firmware file. Now, I will quickly assemble all the blocks as instructions provided here on top, and then we will see next steps. Just follow along. So now, we have completed all the steps given in this tutorial and made this block code. Basically, this code is for playing siren sound and flashing red and blue lights if we shake the CPX board. This program utilizes built-in peripherals of Circuit Playground Express, like on-board accelerometer, motion sensor, NeoPixels and speaker. Let's see the simulation to know more. How it will work? Let's find out. You can click on the CPX to get full screen view. So, as you can see, if you press this shake button or if you move mouse to shake the CPX, siren will start ringing, like this. Okay. To exit out of the simulation and full screen, click here, or press escape key button. Now, as we said earlier, to download the program file or firmware file, we have to click on this download button. When you do that, .uf2 extension file will get downloaded. This is the firmware file, which we need to flash into Circuit Playground Express to actually program the board with this siren demo. So, how to do that? Let's see the Adafruit's guidelines about it. As they says here, first we need to connect our board via USB and enter into bootloader mode. So as we mentioned earlier about reset button, we need to press the reset button twice to put the board in bootloader mode. Please note that, if it is your first time running MakeCode or if you have previously installed Arduino or CircuitPython, you may need to double press the reset button to get your board into bootloader mode. So, as they says here, when the Circuit Playground Express is in bootloader mode, all the NeoPixel LEDs will turn red briefly, and then will become green. Verify that your status LED is also pulsing red. Your computer should show a new removable drive called CPlayboot. Then here are the next steps to program the board. First, ensure your board is in bootloader mode. Then find the .uf2 file generated by MakeCode in your file explorer. Copy it to the CPlayboot volume. The status LED on the board will blink while the file is transferring. Once it's done transferring your file, the board will automatically reset and start running your code, just like in the simulator. So here they have shown how you can drag and drop firmware file onto CPlayboot drive. Let's do that for our board. Just follow along. Okay, this was all about programming via MakeCode. Now, we will see how to program Circuit Playground Express using CircuitPython. So what is CircuitPython? CircuitPython is a programming language designed to simplify experimenting and learning to program on low-cost microcontroller boards. CircuitPython is based on Python. So to use CircuitPython with CPX, first we need to install latest version of CircuitPython firmware on CPX. For that, go to circuitpython.org to download the latest stable release of CircuitPython. That will work with the Circuit Playground Express. Here is stable release at the time of recording this tutorial. In future you may find different versions. Click here on this button to download .uf2 file. CircuitPython firmware file. It will get downloaded in Downloads folder. Let's go to Downloads folder. Here is the file. Now, similarly as we did in MakeCode method, we will first make the board to enter into bootloader mode. So, like given here, connect CPX to computer via micro USB cable. Then press the reset button twice to enter into bootloader mode. Then you will see a new disk drive appear called CPlayboot. Then we just need to drag the CircuitPython firmware file onto C Playboot volume. After that, the C Playboot drive will disappear and a new disk drive will appear called CircuitPy. Let's do that with our CPX board. Just follow along. Okay, now we have installed CircuitPython on our CPX. Let's program it. For that we need to use Python editor. Adafruit recommends MuEditor, which has built-in serial console and easy to use. You can download and install it following this guide. It's a pretty straightforward installation. We have already installed it. Let's open it and do some programming. Here is the interface of MuEditor. This is Canvas. You can write your CircuitPython code here. This software will automatically detect your board and Python version. On the top side, here are different tools. If you click on Mode option, you can select the mode according to your installed firmware and dev board. Now let's load the code.py from our CircuitPy drive. You can see it got already loaded automatically. I will add basic program of rainbow effect here for demo. Now let's see how we can run or program it on CPX. Like Python, CircuitPython is also an interpreted language, so it will get compiled at runtime. Hence, as soon as you press save button here, our code will start running on our Circuit Playground Express board. Beautiful, isn't it? This was about programming Circuit Playground Express using CircuitPython. Now let's see how to program using Arduino IDE. For that, let's go to Adafruit's guide. You can see they have given stepwise procedure to set up an Arduino IDE. Since the Circuit Playground Express uses Atmel SAM-D21 chip, running at 48 MHz, you can pretty easily get it working with the Arduino IDE. Most libraries, including the popular ones like NeoPixels and Display, will work with the M0. Also, the Circuit Playground Express is natively supported in the Arduino IDE, so it's really easy to set up. You can follow this guide for more information. All important links will be given in the description. Now, let's see the demo. For that, let's open Arduino IDE. Then, we first need to install the CPX board into Arduino IDE's Boards Manager. For that, go to Tools. Boards. Boards Manager. Here, search for Arduino SAM-D boards. Since CPX uses a SAM-D21 Cortex M0 chip, you will find Circuit Playground Express board in the description of this board's category. Then install it. We have already installed it. Then next, select the correct board from Boards Manager. So CPX will be in Arduino SAM-D ARM Cortex M0 development boards. Select it. After that, let's make sure that we have connected our CPX board to our computer. Then, let's go to Device Manager to know the COM port number to which CPX is connected. After that, once you know the COM port number, go to Tools, then Ports, and select correct COM port number. Once all the setting have done, now it's time to write and upload the code. For this tutorial we will be using Rolling Dice Demo. Here is that code. Let's save it first. Give proper name. Then finally click on Upload button. This procedure will compile the code first and let us know if any errors, and if everything is correct, It will upload the code onto Circuit Playground Express, and we will see the demo. Okay, so in this way, we have seen brief overview about Adafruit Circuit Playground Express dev board. All the important links are shared in the description. We will see more projects on this awesome board in future. Stay tuned for more projects and tech updates. If you face any difficulty in replicating our DIY projects, feel free to ping us on Telegram or WhatsApp. You can also send us email at info@makecodeexplore.com. We would be happy to help. Thank you.